at IIT Madras.
From IIT Bombay.
From IIT Delhi.
From IIT Kanpur.
From IITG.
IIT Roorkee.
Well, it's been so long not seeing you guys. Sorry for any inconvenience caused. There's a reason for everything that happens. And now I'm happy to be here and share my new work right now. Hey there, fantastic people. Welcome to my little corner of the internet. I'm Rajiv Verma, a second year undergraduate. A third year undergraduate at IIT Madras. Immerse myself in the world of mechanical engineering. You go to school and then college and then join a good university in the hope of good life. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, you realize that you are in your third year, and that's when the season of intern begins. This video showcases 7 students, each working in different sectors, all hailing from 7 of the top engineering institutes in India: IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur, IIT Roorkee, IIT Guwahati. And yeah, this video will only be in English, the professional working language. Without wasting time, let me introduce the students.
Hello everyone, I'm Hari Chandan. I've done my undergraduate in electrical engineering at IIT Madras. Currently now I'm working at Rakuten Mobile in Japan. I've done my summer internship in Big Cat Wireless in Chennai, and then after I graduate, I worked as an intern for 4 months in Airwalker Technologies as a software engineering intern.
So I'm Raghav, and I graduated from IIT Delhi in May 2024. So I did my BTech in textile engineering, and I did my internship after second year. I did my internship in Niti Aayog, and after third year, I did internship in Germany, and it was related to nanomaterials. And currently, I am preparing for UPSC. Since I hate corporate life, so I'm trying for UPSC, and my backup plan is research in nanomaterials.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Sneha. I recently graduated from IIT Bombay. I was a student in mechanical engineering, and I also did a minor in artificial intelligence and data science. Um, in IIT Bombay, I did internships in IBM Research Lab and in Boston Consulting Group. So I tried to explore as much as I could, and I specifically explored manufacturing, supply chain, and a little bit of artificial intelligence and data science as well, and of course consulting. So apart from this, I am really passionate about music. I've been learning classical music for a lot of years, and in college, I was a significant part of the music club as well. So yeah, that's about me.
So myself, Sharath Kumar V, 2024 computer science graduate from IIT Kanpur. I am from Shimoga, it's a city in Karnataka. Previously, I have summer interned at Atlassian as a software engineer for 2 months. So apart from academics, during my time at IIT Kanpur, I was a secretary at Robotics Club, junior and senior member.
Hi everyone, this is Lakshmi Narayana from IITG in the Department of CSE. I graduated last year and I interned at Goldman Sachs after my third year.
So, hi everyone. So, myself Kiran Raj, you might be knowing me before. So, I've completed my bachelor's in food technology and management from the National Institute of Food Tech, and post which I wanted to pursue an business administration course. So, straight after my undergrad, I gave up CAT, a minimalistic percentile, but a good fine. So then I joined DOMS IIT Roorkee and completed my post-graduation in MBA at the batch of 2024. So that's it, and I have done my summer interns at Nestle.
Let me uncover the strategies that they followed. How did you find out this internship opportunity?
My opportunity, so there's a scholarship which Bain conducts every year, which is called the True North Scholarship. It's conducted in multiple colleges across India, including some IITs, and that is how I essentially secured the scholarship as well as the summer internship.
So WICAD Wireless internship, I got it through campus. My campus helped me to get that internship. And the Irvaka Technologies internship, I got it through the referral. So one of my father's friend's son is working at Irvaka, and then he referred me because I had 6 months of free time and they required a Python developer.
So a lot of my seniors were working in IBM Research Lab. Maybe not seniors from IIT Bombay, but seniors from other IITs. And that is how I got to know that this kind of an opportunity exists. There was a repository on GitHub which had a list of internships that are open for applying externally. These could be research internships, these could be any tech based internships. So
This was an on-campus opportunity. Atlassian had approached IIT Kanpur during the internship season, which was 1 year before the internship, like starting of my third year. So during my internship season, I applied.
Uh, I I got to apply for this intern through the campus internship portal, which happens after the third year for everyone.
From beginning itself, I was very much interested in policy making, etc. So I got to know that yes, Niti Aayog is the think tank of Indian government. So I searched on internet. Nobody told me about this internship. I searched it on myself, like on my own, and I got to know that yes, there are internships available for second year students.
Okay. The internship opportunity was brought. It was an external opportunity, so given by my place commerce, and before prior which I was also browsing it in internet, because you guys also might be knowing like internships, time, stressfulness. You'll be searching more. So I found it in LinkedIn. So then the Nestle sites, you go to the official site and post which you do all the process of application and everything. So it was the social media.
What steps did you take to prepare for this internship?
So basically, I knew the overall application process for the internship, and I had to give a test. So I had to brush up my coding skills as well as my basic understanding on AI/ML concepts. So I mean, in my first year summer, I had done an AI/ML based project. I tried to document it well so that I could talk about it in the interview. Apart from that, in my second year, we had this option of pursuing a minor in IIT Bombay. So I decided to pursue a minor in artificial intelligence and data science. So through this minor, in my second year, I basically did two introductory courses. One was uh, introduction to data science, and the other one was introduction to machine learning. So apart from these, so I had done course projects in both of these courses as well. And apart from this, I had done there's a very popular course on Coursera by Andrew Ng on both machine learning as well as deep learning. So like these courses are really helpful. So I had done these courses in my first year summers, like parallelly when I was working on the project as well. So, I mean, I just tried to document all the projects well so I could talk about them in a structured manner.
Yeah, for internship, as I saw, most of the companies during internship for software engineer, they don't ask more than DSA. So my what all I prepared was to know the basics of DSA and have a good code implementation and all. After that, few analytic questions like puzzles and etc. Apart from this, for HR interviews, stick on to your ethics and try few mock interviews and for shortlist few companies which you are interested in and learn about them regularly, work on your vocabulary. So these are all the things you need to look after for your internship season.
So essentially it's like any other consulting interview that you might give in your life. It like basically you have to do case prep. So anyone who's a bit familiar with the world of consulting, you'll have to do case prep before your interviews. So you just follow some standard material, learn some standard frameworks, and then it just takes some practice to get your hang around cases.
For Big Cat Wireless, the internship is an embedded software engineering intern. So it is basically using software engineering for electronics. So my preparation mainly involved preparing for digital profile. So there are courses like digital systems that were taught to us in second semester. Apart from that, the general coding. I've not done DSA by the time I got the internship, but then I was decently good at general coding. So yeah, I primarily prepared for digital systems and regular software programming. For Eruaka Technologies, it's a purely software developer internship. So my preparatory steps are more or less like any other software engineering company. I've done DSA and I rigorously practiced coding, be it contests or be it platforms like Lead Code. I used to do good number of problems every week. This is my primary way of preparation.
Right, steps I took. So basically, if you go to Niti Aayog's government website, and there you will find internship column. So there the guidelines are mentioned, and the form is also there for applying for internship. So basically, reading the guidelines is more important because in there the criteria is mentioned and other eligibility conditions are also mentioned. So after reading the guidelines, I just filled the form, and it was pretty easy form. There is nothing complications in that form, and you have to upload the resume also.
Okay. So it was kind of easy for me because I had a food technology background. So first step to crack an internship or any internship, any opportunity which comes prior in your line will be doing the basic research of what's the company's profile, what they do, where exactly they are operating from, what are their main operations, what's their strategy and everything. So first the basic background of the company, and then this post the application, or the first step was the resume shortlisting. So
How did you tailor your resume for this internship?
Yeah, so for especially for quant companies, the things that interviewers usually look for, apart from the skills and courses you learn in the college, are mainly if you have done any case studies or any data analytics that are openly available on uh, critical websites like Kaggle. So Kaggle has a lot of data sets, and if you have performed and uh, got through some insights that you can put on the resume. And apart from that, usually in the college placements, uh, the usual projects that happen in and around the clubs and all, like consulting and analytics, will also do. And apart from that, uh, yeah, I think your resume should be uh, up to the mark, and once that is there, it mostly depends on the interview. Resume is just there for showing that you are there. Yeah, it doesn't make you feel any unique per se. I mean, once the brand CPI and all are fixed, out of all those population, it won't make you any more unique.
Okay, so for consulting, essentially, your resume needs to have one spike at least per section. So essentially, how you structure your CV, you should structure it in a way that just structure it intuitively, thinking what the recruiter will look at first. So once you make your CV, there are a number of factors that people have to consider while making a consulting CV. First of all, there is no set order that you have to follow for sections. Just have the sections in decreasing order of priority. So whatever you want the recruiter to see first, put that section first. So there's no set structure. Of course, there should be no grammatical errors, no capitalization errors. It should be spectacularly perfect in terms of grammar. And so the formatting should be spot on. There should be no alignment issues. Not more than 10% of your CV should be bolded. So overall, it should look like a spick and span CV. It should look like, if I'm a recruiter, if I'm looking at a consulting CV, I should be able to understand what all they have done in the past 2-3 years of their college life.
Along with software and electronics, one of the profile which I primarily targeted was consultancy, for which resume and its structure play a crucial role. So whatever is the point that I wrote it in a very enhanced way. That is basically, I highlighted on every achievement and I highlighted numbers in every aspect that I did. More going into technicalities of the resume, for the electrical core or electronics resume, I had the important courses for that respective profile first, and then I had the projects or the labs that I have done with respect to that domain, and then I have my extracurricular activities. So this is the structure that I followed in my resume. Whereas for software engineering, it is the other way around. The first section is the list of software engineering courses, and then mathematics courses, and if at all, if I have done any AML courses, even they are also included. After that, I mainly mentioned about my projects in software engineering and AIML. And as usual, the last is the extracurricular activities.
Okay. So basically, many tech companies require a two-page resume. I had submitted a two-page resume for my application. So in that, I mean, of course, because it was a purely, technical role, I focused more on projects and these courses that I had undertaken. So I mentioned in detail about these projects. The way in which you talk about any project, you have to follow a particular format, right? You talk about the results, then you talk about how you reached those results. So I mean, I did these couple of things, and then of course there are some generic resume guidelines wherein you have to reduce the white space on your resume, make it look more attractive and stuff. So then I did all of those. I reviewed it from a couple of seniors. I also reviewed it from my parents as well. Apart from this, I mean, I focused more on the projects part of it. I focused less on, say, extracurriculars or, PORs or anything like that. I mean, it was just my second year, so I didn't have to put on my resume, but whatever I had, I focused more on the projects and the tech part of the resume.
Yeah, for the resume, I would say uh, choose a template which is ATS friendly and which are suggested by your seniors. Like, your seniors would have gone through this process and they would have selected a lot of resumes. Correct a few templates, go through their advantages and disadvantages, and choose which suits your profile and update the things accordingly. Learn from your seniors how to update projects, work experience, if you have any your skills and your extracurricular activities, what are the courses you have covered, and your academic achievements, etc. These are all few of the sections which are majorly to be in your resume.
And regarding resume, they don't care about resume. So you can basically write anything. You can even exaggerate about yourself that okay, I am captain of this team, I am captain of that club, whatever. They don't read the resume. So it's pretty easy, applying for internship.
Okay. So the resume part, which was the primary hurdle. So at every stage, the resume will be the primary hurdle, and you have to get shortlisted. And few companies take it way too serious, and these big firms, they will get n number of applications. So that's the where the 70% of the batch will get filtered. So crossing that step, my resume, one of my main subject which was there in my resume to crack this internship offered by Nestle was the food technology background which I have. At the start of your resume pointers, you use action verbs like I have increased or I I have successfully completed, those kind of verbs. And make sure you use numbers or figures, like if you have done any prior internships or anything, what value you added to the organization in terms of your work, like enhance their figures by so and so percentage, increase their production operations or increase their productivity by 80 percentage, reduce their wastage. So these are the points where you show one step further than the others.
Are there any specific resources, books, websites, or tools you found helpful during your internship preparation?
So, in my opinion, to get a summer internship in a electronics company or any digital or any, for that matter, any core company, uh, rather than focusing on any new books, you can primarily target on the course content that was taught, and then you can do the tutorials. And if you are lucky enough to get access to the previous questions, that would also be helpful. So most of the questions that are asked in general in any electrical core company tests are basic stuff of whatever is being taught in the respective course content. So I would suggest be strong with the basics. At the same time, there will be a reference book for every course. So maybe you can solve questions and look at the content in each reference book. The reference book has the reference the course professor suggests. Yeah. Coming to software engineering profile, the preparation is very streamlined. You can actually plan your preparation. We can actually prepare for software in 1 month, in 2 months, and we can also prepare for 6 months and a year. It's just the intensity that matters. So for software engineering, we need to first concentrate on general coding. We might not be good at DSA, but then you should be able to solve mathematical problems and problems involving strings and arrays. And then the next step is to go and solve problems involving DSA, which is graphs and stuff. So doing the DSA course is very important. If you have not done, I would suggest you to do a course, do a DSA course in any form, be it YouTube or be it some Udemy, Coursera, or your respective college content. And then I've practiced more coding, more and more. So Code Forces is the website that I use for contests, and then Lead Code is the website that I use mainly for preparing for internship and placement tests. So Lead Code has questions that were asked in the previous years, whereas Code Forces is like it gives you the crux of what competitive programming is.
Sure. So, for case prep, mainly there are a lot of books that will help you out for preparation. If you are sitting for an internship in these firms, then some good books would be Case Interviews Cracked by IIT Bombay. There is this one called Day One by IIT Madras. So these two books are enough for internships. For placements, I would recommend following these two books. Of course, those are given. Apart from that, I would suggest the SRCC case compendium, the IIM Ahmedabad case book, Wharton case book.
I solved for preparing for the coding test. I solved a couple of questions in interview bit, and my friends used to uh, give a lot of contests on Code Forces and Code Chef. I too have done sometimes, but coding test whatever we have. So uh, yeah, the place really doesn't matter once the concept is 50 problems in probability. There is a book. I think that is sufficient, and whatever the course has, the probability course, that is sufficient.
Right. So, specific resources. Firstly, I would say the Coursera courses. it gives you a very good understanding right from the basics of AIML and of course deep learning as well. So those courses are really good, and I would recommend everyone who is going for a data science role to kind of go through those courses at least once. Apart from that, you have to brush up your coding skills. You have to brush up, your Python, like coding in Python. So there are a lot of online resources for that. I mean, there's no particular website that I refer to or anything like that. But I mean, there are a lot of resources. Even if you Google, you'll find them. Apart from that, I mean, I talked about the college courses that I had taken, the two introductory courses. So I found them really helpful. Like I used to make notes and stuff. So then I used to revise those notes before interviews and before the test as well. So these three things were something that helped me a lot.
Okay, so for majorly work on DSA puzzles and HR rounds. So for DSA, I would suggest to for theory part go through the CLRS book Intro to Algorithm. And for our coding part, there are multiple platforms like InterviewBit, LeetCode, and CodeForces. Grind through them. And for puzzles also, there are multiple websites. You can go. One of them is InterviewBit. Also, you can grind coding and as well as puzzles there. For HR round, I would suggest you to take a few mock interview with your seniors, work be on your ethics and know and research about the company which you're giving the interview. So that
Books like newspapers for current affairs, because it was kind of a business oriented application part, business oriented role. So newspapers, company's profile, official website, and then to be a bit stronger in my technical aspect, just the normal technical books. Uh, so it was a FMCG, Nestle, and you may be knowing like it's an FMCG brand. So I just had a technical knowledge about their chocolates and confectionery divisions, how is the process being made and everything, and uh, a basic food technologist book. That's it.
No, as I said, this is very easy and no resources are needed. But yeah, the only thing needed is referral. The problem in Niti Aayog is that these people select postgraduate students a lot. They don't prefer undergraduate students, no matter from whichever university you are. Like I'm from IIT Delhi, and being one of the most reputed universities, technically I should be selected immediately. But these people don't select like this way. They prefer postgraduate students. So for undergraduate students, the only way out is that you should have some referral in Niti Aayog. For example, in Niti Aayog, there are many people working. Like there are specialists, there are young professionals, there are IS officers. So if you know any one of them, they can easily refer you, and this way you can get internship. So I had many, I had interaction with 10, 15 interns, and all of them came through referrals. So basically, you should know some government official, and he can help you out in getting this internship.
Can you describe the application process and the interview process for this internship?
yeah, the application was through on campus internship season. So the coding round consisted of four questions which has to be answered in an 1 hour. The questions were easy to medium level with arrays and string manipulations. The last question was based on greedy, which was a medium level. The interview process consisted of two rounds, one first technical and the second HR round. In the technical round was also a question asked from easy to medium level of arrays and string manipulation. The HR round consisted of ethics, behavioral, and team and cultural fit. So this was the brief about my recruitment process at Atlassian.
Actually, there is no interview process in Niti Aayog.
The interview process we had for Goldman Sachs, for me, it consists of three rounds. The first round, they have asked me to solve couple of maths problems, probability problems. For example, the interviewer asked me if you have two dice, n face dice, then how would you tell me the value of pi? This was my first question. The second question, he asked me how would I simulate some process given some parameters. mostly ad hoc stuff. And the second interview I had is completely theoretical. He asked me about lot of number theory questions and linear algebra questions like eigenvectors, eigenvalues, transformations, वगैरह. And in the third round, it is purely HR. So it was mostly to see how I talk, how I present myself, and how would I react in situations that might usually occur in a corporate workplace. And for me, it was only 3 rounds, but for others, I know a friend. He is really talented, and they finalized his shortlisting after 2 rounds. And I know few people who have went through 6 rounds and gone through the waiting list and finally got into the placement. So number of rounds is not really fixed, but uh, the type of questions they ask is mostly these. And this is for the quant thing. If you are into software development for Goldman Sachs, then they would ask you to solve coding questions. So they'll ask you to join their code pen and uh, give you some question and optimize that on spot वगैरह.
There is a test that IBM Research conducts. It's a basic test. Basically, there is a couple of coding questions, and there are like conceptual based questions of AI/ML. So if you brush up your basics and if you go through your notes and stuff, then I think you should be good to go for the test. After the test, you have an interview. I had 2 rounds of interviews. Some people just have 1 round, some people have 3 rounds, so it depends. uh, I gave 2 interviews, and in the interview they mostly asked me about my projects and what all I've done related to data science till now. So yeah.
So the application process for Big Cat Wireless is like I just need to submit my resume on the internship portal, which is made by my campus, and they'll take forward the resume to the company. So it was easy. The application process for Airwalker Technologies is a little complicated. So one of my family friends referred me to Airwalker, so I had to submit my resume to it, and then I had an interview for that. For Big Cat Wireless, I had a test and an interview. So this is the onboarding process. For Big Cat Wireless interview, the questions that were asked are mainly covering basics of electronics, at the same time basics of programming. So they did not go deep into it. So they just asked me questions like which are involving latches, and then a few timing circuits and stuff when it comes to digital. And then in programming, they asked about the projects that I've done in programming. In the Airwalker Technologies internship, they tested me on a couple of coding questions on how I'm approaching. So they are not bothered about the accuracy of the code, but then they are bothered about the way I approach the problem. And then there was a good discussion on the projects that I've done as well. So this is more or less the internship process.
Okay. So for this particular Nestle intern, it's their Nesternship program, which happens at 2 years back. It was twice in a year. They had a winters period and a summers period. So I was selected on their summers period. So the application starts around 3 to 4 months prior to the summer internship period. The summer internship period at every college is quite the same. So you might be knowing 3 to 4 months prior the application starts. There you first go to their official site. They have a particular portal for it. You fill all your details, names, address, your past acads, your prior experiences, and everything, and you send your resumes. Post which you get an if your resume gets shortlisted, you get an email for it proctored. So it's just business simulations of 8 levels. So it was quite good. The simulation was quite good. Where the graphics, I still remember the graphics had a 8-story building, and each and every floor of the building is departments. Like it was marketing department, HR department, finance department. So all those departments had a specific set of questions and a specific set of questions. So you just clear each and every simulation. It was just normal, like how an office environment works. So if you guys have been mostly bachelor's people, you might not be knowing that much what I'm trying to convey. So it was basic, like if it's a finance floor, when you enter it, so what's the finance questions which shoots up, and it was marketing questions means like client A has its so and so problem, what kind of solution will be given for it, what kind of methods or strategies you will use, for what is the basic search you are going to do.
Were there any specific skills or experiences that the company seemed to value the most during the selection process?
Sure. So consulting companies usually look for people who have done a lot more on campus apart from just studying. So, but that does not mean they put less emphasis on studies. Academics is essentially something that is a given for consulting shortlists. So they need to see, they usually shortlist people who have been extremely active in college activities. So if you're a part of your college fest, if you hold certain positions of responsibility, if you have good internships on your CV, or you maybe hold a department rank or something. So these are things that really stand out. So talking from the perspective of a student from an IIT, if you have done inter IIT, tech, social, sports, anything, that also stands out. Basically, I mean, yeah, of course, I think proper communication skills are required in any field, irrespective whatever job you're going into. So I think that's a given. For other skills, I mean, what companies usually look for, especially consulting companies, they look at what kind of critical thinking ability you have. They look at how fast your problem solving skills are, and they of course look at how easily you're able to explain what you are thinking. So I think those are the three main things.
So as I said, an embedded software position, it values your basic stuff or basic knowledge in electronics and programming. And they might ask some hypothetical question on how we can automate few um, electronic processes. So you can just answer with your intuition. You need not answer it correctly or in detail. Whereas the skills that were valued in my software engineering internship were the way I approach the problem. So as and when we look at a problem, we might have the knowledge, we might or might not have the knowledge to solve the problem completely, but then at, we should be in a position to at least approach the problem in the right direction. And if at all, if we are going in a wrong direction, they'll give hints or they'll kind of correct you, and you just need to pick up from that point. So I think these are the skills they looked in me. That those are the skills they look for in general as well.
The specific skills is basically, I mean, how much in depth have you gone in the projects that you have done? Some people also do a winter internship. If you're a third year student, so then you would have done mostly a second year internship as well. So if that internship is related to AIML, then of course in your third year it would be valued a lot. I applied in my second year, and I had done a winter internship, but it was not exactly related to data science. It was related more to my core department. So, but if you have such kinds of AIML internships, I think they value that a lot. They also value if you have done like projects and courses in a structured manner. Of course, I mean, online courses, many people tend to just fast forward and get the certificate or whatever. But if you have done an offline course in college, it's in a very more structured manner. So I mean, these are some of the things that they value a lot. And of course, if you get qualified for the interview, then the way in which you talk about your project, it should show that you have knowledge of that field. It should show that you are genuinely interested to do their project. And yeah, these are some of the things that they look forward to.
For an entry role, there is no such thing called specific skill set. Baseline skill set is definitely necessary. So Goldman does everything on Python mostly, so they would at least expect you to know Python. But there are people who can manage everything from MySQL and uh, Excel. So for a quant role, Python is a basic necessity, but there isn't any specific skill set that you need to know basis.
So they are not going to test any of your skills. They are basically on the basis of the form you filled, they are going to select you. But as such, they don't take an interview. So if even if you are poor in any skill, doesn't matter. While during the course of internship, you are sure to get skills.
During the internship at Atlassian, they don't expect you to know much. So as of it's a internship is a learning process, and the 2 months you will be learning. And I don't think you need to have any skills that as a prerequisite. Enthusiasm to learn and interest in software development is only you need for an internship at Atlassian.
So the specific skill is, so freshers weren't there mostly. So experience matters. A prior internship experience which I had with HCCB was a plus point for me, which I feel so. So a prior experience is required, and be strong what you have done in a prior thing, and make sure it has a coherence. So if you do an experience, if you're studying a course, you do relevant to it, and post which, and again one is, even if it's quite irrelevant or not towards your career path, make sure you project it as it's quite relevant to your past experience and you're doing it in a right track.
How did the internship contribute to your overall personal and professional development?
Okay, so essentially, I wanted to go into the consulting industry to explore what it's like, to understand how the industry functions and what does the day-to-day work look like in the firm. But uh, essentially, I would say consulting is the go-to industry for people who don't really have a certain field that they have a calling for. So consulting, it's a very well-known statement that consulting companies look for generalists rather than specialists. And I think that really helps you to gain a perspective of multiple industries at once. So if you're talking about working with the CXOs of companies across various industries and sectors and countries, then I think consulting is the best stepping stone you can have. That is exactly what I wanted to do during my internship.
Like working at Atlassian has really given me a few insightful knowledge which helped me. So majorly my software SDLC software development life cycle, system design, all of those things have I learned during my intern season, and how a software work life balance needs to be maintained. So these are all the things which you'll get in terms of intern, and what are the difference between your normal college coding and your corporate life. So these are all the things which I learned when I interned at Atlassian, apart from the technical stuffs.
Okay. So I'll split this into two: professional development and personal development. So professionally, because I had gotten this opportunity at a very early stage in my second year, so it really helped me in getting a third year internship as well. And in my third year, I went. So in my third year, I went for a non-tech role, but of course, having this knowledge of data science really helped me get shortlisted in those companies, and get an opportunity to intern at really big firms. It has helped me throughout. I mean, it also helped me during my placement season, because IBM Research is a very big brand, and having gotten an opportunity over there, it always helps you, because people know that those you have that kind of knowledge, you have those skills that companies really look forward to when they are hiring people. So professionally, it has helped me in these ways. um, Personally, I mean, for me, it was my internship was in Bangalore, so that was the first time that I was I mean, of course, when I went to college, I was staying away from family. But Bangalore was the first time that I was actually staying away from everyone, like all my friends, all my family. So I had to like get out of my comfort zone and had to figure out a lot of things like where to stay, how to stay, etc. So these are also a few factors that are important when you are shifting somewhere else. Maybe even if for a short, even if on a short term basis. So I mean, professionally, it helped me in these ways that how to live independently away from everyone. Um, yeah. So, and of course, I mean, whenever I used to present, I had to make sure that I'm keeping the audience involved in my presentation. So these soft skills also I developed them in some or the other way during my IBM internship.
Obvious thing, internship gave me the pre-placement offer, which helped me to not go through all the hard lifting that usually people go under during the placements. I got the job once the internship is done. That is one thing, and internship is really a good experience because I prior to that I did not know how the things in corporate work, but it gave me a crisp uh, vision on how it is going to be there. And after the internship, I really did not have to worry about what is going to happen in my career because I know for sure that I am going to be in finance. So I continued being there.
So, internship is very important in everyone's career because it is the first time you see how your knowledge is being used. There is always a significant gap between what you study at the college and what we use at the industry. So, that actually helps you to bridge the gap between both of them. Uh, More or less, you might not add any value to the company in those 2 months of internship, but then the internship adds actually a lot of value to you. You can correlate what you study with what is required in the industry. At the same time, your experience in the internships might be helpful for your placements as well. How you have done your internship and your experience in the projects that you have done in your internship are the problems that are there in the industry. So if the company is looking for someone who has similar background, that could be helpful. Even if the background or what you have done in the internship is irrelevant, but then how you have experienced your internship actually plays a role in uh, getting your placement. So it is the same for me. It added a lot of value in terms of sorry. In addition to this, it will also give you an understanding of how corporate culture works. It is way different from what if it is way different from what it is at the college. So we'll get the experience in both the ways. So it'll help us to have an easy transition after your graduation to get into your job. So yeah, it is the same for me as well.
Right. So, in this internship, I gained three, four most important skills. Like, for example, the first one is punctuality. So, as we are engineering students, we are never punctual in our classes. So, but in EDI, this is not how things work. So, basically, you have to reach at 9:30, and there is a register where you mark your in attendance and your out attendance also. So punctuality is one thing, and then second, I would say communication skills. In IIT, I was never a part of any club, be it theater club or music club or debating club. So I practically had zero communication skills. But in Niti Aayog, since I interacted with other interns, with my supervisors, and I gave a presentation at the end, so it helped me in increasing my communication skills a lot, and I became much confident in speaking in English and in communicating to others. And then I would say um, teamwork also, or you can, yeah, teamwork. You can say you have to work with other interns also. Like I was working in science and technology vertical, so there were three or four other interns, and you have to work with them. So, and fourth, I would say writing a research paper. This is very much important. In like in our last year, we have to write a BTech project where we do some research and then we write a research paper. But I had beforehand I had knowledge of how to write a research paper, and this I got from Niti Aayog. So in writing a research paper, how to put references, how to ensure you haven't plagiarized any content. So these skills help a lot in the final year when you are doing your BTech project. So these were some skills which I learned.
Okay, so 2 months of internship. So you'll get lot of knowledge. You'll gain a new experience, new people, new way of thinking. So if many people are having doing their first internships, it's quite memorable. And post the internship, the value addition and the way of thinking which you get will be quite different. So you're entering an organization. So you have so mostly if you're a bachelor's or a bachelor's people seeing it or anyone, so you might have your first internships, right? So prior to which you just had your schools and college life. So the way you think after entering an organization and again stepping back to a college, so your vision will be broader. The way you think will be from an organization's point of view. So then what's the first couple of months, how it will be, what's the onboarding process, and those things are you will learn it automatically. So the way you think after your internships will be towards more oriented like a corporate company's point of view.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you had known before starting the internship?
I would definitely say my project. I chose a wrong project. Like my interest was in nanotechnology. I should have done something in that, but I chose medical textile. And this is one thing which I regret. And I wish I had taken a nanotechnology project. It would have helped me a lot.
Uh, no regrets, bro. Everything was fine.
Some okay, something that I would have. Okay, yeah. I think something that I wished I would have known is the long work hours that come along with the internship. So some people seem to think that an internship in an MBB is not as demanding as a job. But I would say an internship or a junior level job is equally as demanding in an MBB. Person should be prepared to withstand 12 to 14-hour work days on a daily basis. So Monday to Friday, you don't really get a lot of time to socialize with anyone apart from the team that you're working with. Uh, Apart from that, of course, there's immense pressure to perform and deliver. There are constant deadlines. So it's an extremely high pressure work environment. That is something that I had not expected for my internship. But there's, of course, I mean, the firm works, at least Bain works on a work hard, play hard policy. So
Yeah, this is a good question. So my primary interest for my summer internship preparation were mainly consultancy profiles because I was interested in business. And then the backup I had, not backup, my secondary interest was electronics, mainly digital. But then I didn't have a backup as such. Because there are very less opportunities in consultancy profiles, and there is a lot of research that you need to do before thinking of getting into consultancy profiles. That is something which I didn't do properly. And then because of my entire focus on during the summer was on consultancies, I couldn't prepare much for electronics. So at a point, I lost both of them. I lost good companies, I lost consultancy firms, and I lost good companies in electronics. But then one point to note here is software engineering is the best backup which anyone can ever have, because there are a numerous number of software engineering companies which can give you good projects and good pay. Uh, so even if you don't get a internship in your interested profile for 2 months after the internship season starts, you might still end up getting a good software engineering job after that as well, because there are those many number of companies and there is money at the company which the companies have. So you'll get good pay at the same time, good companies and good projects as well, uh, and the opportunities are more. So I would actually suggest everyone to, if your primary interest is software engineering, it's well and good. Do it as thoroughly as you can. If you do it the best, you'll end up in the best company. Even if your primary interest is in any other domain, I would suggest you to do at least some basic programming so that you'll be in a position to get any good internship, even if it is not in your interested profiles. So this is the mistake. So I did not do that. I didn't have a backup. So this is the mistake that I want to correct.
What advice would you give to the students preparing for a similar internship? Is there anything you would recommend they do differently or focus on?
For this internship, I would just give one advice that even though Niti Aayog people don't read resume, but still make sure you have a decent resume. And even if you haven't done any practical things, or so you can mention in practical things the practical work of your course, right? Whatever laboratories you have done, whatever projects you have done in your courses, you can write that. And as I said, in extracurricular activities, you can exaggerate a lot, and you can even fake a little bit. They are not going to verify. And rest, of course, be punctual and be sincere in EDI internship, because they can also throw you out of the internship. So you have to make sure that you are sincere in your working. So yeah, that's it.
Choose a profile, don't choose multiple profiles. It's always advised to keep both the legs in the same boat rather than other rather. So I would say keep grinding and be optimistic and don't lose hope. You will land a good one.
Hmm. I would say, I would say, I would say you should be really, really good at fundamentals and not really worry about uh, really complex things. Everything is usually much simple once you are clear with your fundamental. And the second most important thing apart from the academic fundamentals would be the communication part. So, how effectively you can communicate you to your manager, how effectively you can say no, how effectively you can manage your time, because everyone has the same 10-week window to complete their project, but not everyone did. I know few people who have done couple of projects in the 10 weeks. So there is one thing skill for sure. If you are highly skilled, then you need not really watch this video. But if you are not at all skilled, then also you need not watch this video. But you are moderately skilled, then you should really manage time.
Okay, so what advice I would give students who are preparing for this sort of an internship is number one, I think people these days they're spending a lot more time on preparing cases rather than making their resumes. So I think the number one advice I would give to people like that is to spend a lot of time on their resumes and get it reviewed by as many seniors as possible, MBB, non-MBB, whatever, whoever works. And I think a very good hack that at least I tried is to just take printouts of your resume and just make your parents glance through it for 10 seconds and then let them tell you what caught their eye. So that essentially gives you a good picture of what your resume looks like. Run it through Grammarly. Like, for example, when I was creating my resume for the internship, I took like a month to get it finalized. So I maybe spent like a week in creating the first draft, and then 3 weeks was just getting it reviewed by multiple seniors across multiple domains, ensuring that my CV was up to the mark and it was like it had no errors at all. So that is one advice I would give to students, to spend a lot more time on.
So for my particular set or my internship, so I was doing it in the marketing department, and it was completely a business kind of role. So if you are preparing for it, the first thing will be your soft skills and how you communicate your academic or technical strength in a corporate manner to the clients or to the organizations. Uh, Post which you must be aware of what you speak and make sure you are technically strong at every aspect or every domain of the organization. So that's the one thing which I would say from my particular internship experience. But mostly face worked like done an internship over there. So for those kind of people or who are working to work on that side, so make sure you're technically too strong and you must be more than your communication skills. Make sure you're technically too strong towards what you do and what exactly the final inference you make from your internship or from your project or anything.
So, my advice is very simple. Just be in touch with everyone who is preparing for internships. Have a good network, and preparing together, discussing what people are doing will actually give you a better idea of how you can prepare. Talk to your seniors, irrespective of whatever profile you are preparing for, and then have a strategic plan and check if the plan will actually work or not with someone who's experienced in that domain. So I would say, so basically network is the one which actually helps you in getting good idea about how internship preparation has to be done. So internships are absolutely important, but then they are not everything. So if you have an internship, you'll get an edge during the placements. But then it is not that you must have an internship. Even if you don't have a good internship, if you develop required skills by the placements time, you can actually crack placements easily as well. But then having an internship will actually help the process, make the process very easy. So focus hardly on how you are doing the preparation, and think of what profiles you are interested in first, and then go ahead with the preparation. As I said, try to have a good backup as far as possible, and focus on the interested profile as much as you can. So these are my list of sessions, more or less. I think I covered everything.
Special thanks to students of IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur, IIT Roorkee, and IIT Guwahati. I really hope this video covered all aspects of internship experience by providing all the detailed insights and practical advices to students. All the best for your internships. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and continue being the remarkable source that you are.
Thank you, Raju, for connecting via LinkedIn and inviting. I find it a good initiative.
And yeah, Rajiv, it has been great talking to you, and thanks for this opportunity to share my experience. And I hope this is helpful.
Thank you for inviting me for this video, and it is really cool talking to you.
So, best of luck for your future.
For the call. Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rajiv, for giving me this opportunity. I was very happy sharing my thoughts and my experiences with the upcoming students who are setting for internships. Please subscribe, Agarwal.